Hey everybody, it's Catrice Bailey from When Models Talk. You are now watching episode 31, part
Hey,
1, with special
so
guest Earl
for
Lynn.
everybody, okay. So first, I want to start off saying thank you to the Philly Hip Hop Awards for nominating, for giving Win Models Talk an award. Yes, anybody ever checked out my post where I actually won an award? I'm like, okay, thank you, and I'm excited about that. So thank you to the Philly Hip Hop Awards, thank you to Jimmy the Saint, and thank you for Plex for the award. I appreciate it. And everybody that was behind the scenes that voted. Thank y'all so much. And today we're gonna have a great live. So today we have Earl Lynn, who is the sole owner of Warrior Model Management. If I say anything wrong, please correct me.
No, you're
Please.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
And he's been actually doing this for a very, very long time, as far as modeling and then starting his business. So we're definitely gonna. And the great thing about it is now we can actually get good information from someone who actually owns an agency that can give us the real deal of how it all works,
Yeah.
which is great. And what I love about it is he used to be a model too.
Yeah.
So
Before I got chubby.
know what? Look, it's all types of miles. And you can, if you want to, you can lose weight in 2.5 seconds. Ain't nothing wrong with
I'm on there. I'm on there.
that. But yes, so we have Earl Lynn, everybody. So first, I want first I want you to let everybody know, how did you get started in modeling first? So a little bit of your background, and that led
Okay.
up to your model management.
So so I was just like a typical model walking in the runway. I mean, running runway in a mall with my mom one day, and you know how those people that come up to you and be like, "Hey, you should be a model. You should do this," and you fall for it. You're like, "Oh, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to be no model." So I was like maybe 10 years old. I was really really young, and it was one of those days. My mom was like, "Nah, we ain't trying to do this." No, so it happened a couple of times, and then finally we gave in and was like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's try it." So it was like one of those, if I'm not mistaken, it was like Model Search America, one of those little ones that be at the mall, and it was at King of Prussia Mall, and we gave it a
Mm-hmm.
shot, and it was like, yeah, we think he really got good potential to be a model. We fell for the whole scheme. You know, you know that scheme thing when they ask you for a whole bunch of money and all that stuff. So we definitely fell in that category of being scammed. And but
Mm-hmm.
through that scam, I really liked it. You know what I mean? I was like, this is fun. I'm really interested in being a model and go farther.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like as time's going past, I met this lady called Cindy Lane in Philly, and she really put me on. Like as in like that's how I met Ray Lewis, and we were
Mm-hmm.
so young. We are like young, really, really young, like 13, 14. We were really, really young, and
Wow.
we are like doing the whole Philly scene, Philly fashion weeks and all of that stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
we all wanted more. I know I definitely wanted more, and as time goes past, I went to New York, got signed with a model agency in New York, and then I got dropped from that modeling agency in New York, and then I got signed to another modeling agency in Philadelphia, which is House of
Mm-hmm.
Talent.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
actually he was on
And
your
Antoine.
yes, and then signed with him. He helped me get on Rick the Runway. He helped me get on like the MTV shows, runway shows. It was like a little bit at a time, but it just wasn't working. You know what I mean? At that time,
Mm-hmm.
like things wasn't going well, so I just kept trying. But
Mm-hmm.
eventually, he dropped me, and I went to another agency, which was Debonair Models, which is another
Mm-hmm.
modeling agency in Philadelphia. That
Mm-hmm.
he helped me really push where I wanted to go. That season, that year, I was like maybe 15, 16, maybe 16, I think. And I was working with him for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I was working with House of Talent for a couple of years. And then
Okay.
when I got to college, then
Mm-hmm.
I met the guy that owns Debonair, and
Okay.
I went into it that way. And then history after that. So
Mm-hmm.
sum it up. Sum it up. I went to high school already for fashion, so I went to
Okay.
Chad So I was already in the mix of the fashion industry. So I already did like behind the scenes in New York. So I knew where I wanted to go in fashion.
Mhm.
Just at
Mhm.
that time, I wanted to be a model. Everybody wants to be the star of the runway. You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
it took some time for me to really understand more where I wanted to go. Because at high school, my major was fashion design, and I was really good at it. And
Mhm.
to the point all my teachers wanted me to go to school for fashion design. Too
Mhm.
bad that didn't happen in the beginning. That definitely didn't happen in the beginning. So um as times go in high school, I remember telling you, like, I had a teacher that told me that I would never make it in the fashion industry,
Yeah.
like as a model. She was like, it's not going to happen. She's like, you should just give up, just focus on being a fashion designer. I think you'll do
Mhm.
better at that. And I'm just like, wow, lady, I'm not listening to you. None of us is really listening to this. I was actually working on a bride corset made out of
Mhm.
trash bags at that time.
Mhm.
And when she said that, I'm that type of person that I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Yeah.
And now that I look back on, I was like, she was right, or where I wanted to go, and how far I can go into my career as being a model. That it just didn't work, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm gonna go into, like, I made it on. I auditioned for America's Next Top Model a couple of times in college. Didn't
Mhm.
make it.
Mhm.
I got called back 3 times from Tyra Banks and went to LA. That's how me and my friend Relia got really close because of that whole experience in LA.
Mhm.
Flew
Mhm.
out there. They made us pay for our own hotel and stuff like that. We met the producers and all that. We all thought it was my chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it wasn't your chance, because I noticed she threw my paper to the ground. Like, she was just like,
Lord.
"Yep." She was just like, so, I was devastated. I was hurt. I didn't know where to go at that time. And then, I just kept pushing. You know what I mean? I did a couple of shows in New York. I did open ceremony. I was on Empire. So I had still kept going. Then
Yeah.
got an email for the second year, America's Next Top Model. They was like, "Hey, we want you. We really love your look. We think you will go for our audition all over again." And
Mhm.
unfortunately, it just did not happen. You know what I mean?
What?
Um, so that's just a sum up of how modeling went from terrible to flipping it all around in a little bit. You know what I mean? So it was just like a lot that happened that I had to understand where I wanted to go. You get what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
What makes it all sad, I went to a college that didn't really look into fashion the way I look into fashion today. So
Mhm.
if I didn't go to a art high school that, fashion was a main focus, I don't think
Yeah.
that I would be where I'm at today, to be honest with you. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think that if I didn't have those connections in high school when I interned for Zach Posen and did things like that in high school, I don't think I would be where I'm at now, because
Mhm.
my college, I went to IUP, middle
Okay.
of nowhere, like middle of nowhere. And you know, going into that, it just, my major when I went to IUP wasn't even fashion merchandising or fashion marketing at all.
So, and what was your major?
My major was criminal justice.
Criminal justice.
Yes, my major was criminal justice because I'm Chinese and black, and my grandmom isn't a big thing on the fashion industry. Yes, I got into a lot of art schools. Coming from art school, got into kind of California College of the Arts, and
Mhm.
they gave me a full ride and I didn't go.
Mhm.
Got accepted to LIM, didn't go. I went with what my grandma thought was better for me, and
Mhm.
I later on found out that first semester that it wasn't for me. Like, I wanted to do
Mhm.
fashion, like, definitely, and
Yeah.
then changed my major to fashion merchandising, and
Mhm.
um, being up there was just like the worst thing. Going through that whole thing in college with with America's Next Top Model not making it, still booking
Yeah.
stuff in the summertime. You just don't know what to do with yourself at that moment, and
Yeah.
so sum all that craziness up. Um, I wound up graduating from IUP for fashion merchandising. I
Mm-hmm.
wound up doing internships. I did an internship for Balmain. I did an internship in New York for
Mm-hmm.
modeling agencies. And still then, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, for me to graduate, I needed to have a certain amount of credits. I needed an intern. I needed to do a lot, but I still didn't
yeah,
know where I wanted to go with fashion. I knew I didn't want to be a fashion designer because my patience is just like not it. Like working on the same project forever, working for a dress forever. It just wasn't fun to me. I
yeah.
liked it. Of course, you know, I had a lot of experience, you know, working in the fashion design area of fashion, but I just wasn't into it. Like I like it, but I don't want to be
Yeah,
the creator. You get what I mean? I want to be
yeah.
the person that tell you what to do. Like
Uh-huh.
make my dress this way. You know, this is how many colors I wanted this. Like I can make it. Don't get me wrong. I can hop on the sewing machine and make your dress, and I
I
just
know
don't have
that's
the patience. You know what I mean? I definitely don't have the patience to do that. So I knew that's not where I wanted to go, but I knew I wanted to work in fashion. Just didn't know where. So as that went,
right.
I wound up getting in college. I wound up getting an opportunity to go to London to model,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it didn't work. They asked me to lose more
What?
weight, and mind you, I was already skinny, and they asked me
Yeah.
to lose more. Like I was super skinny. Anybody who knew me knew that I was super, 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 super skinny.
All you gotta do is go down your timeline.
Yes, go down my timeline. You would definitely see how skinny I was. And,
Yeah.
you know, bone structures was on point, hair was on point, all that was
Mhm.
always it. It just that I was never good enough for to be a
Wow.
model. I just was never good enough. So, as that one passed, oh gosh. How so let's start moving as time going and graduated, got a job, you know,
Mhm.
right now at this time I was working at night at a casino and I
Mhm.
still wanted to be a model. Don't get me wrong, I still wanted to do it. And as that went on, I actually got on America's Next Model, got another email, and they said that
Mhm.
we no longer taking guys. So that was
Lord.
also
Yes.
downfall. So that happened. That happened. I'm trying to stay in the same time period as things go for you, so I won't get you
Mhm.
guys lost. Then
Mhm.
I started to work with people in Philadelphia.
Okay.
You know? And I learned that everyone in Philadelphia is different. There we
Yeah.
go. That's the best
Mhm.
word I wanna use. They're different, and everyone wants different paths with fashion.
Yeah.
Mind you, I come from a fashion background,
Yeah.
so what I expect of how things supposed to be in the fashion world
Mhm.
isn't what I was expecting or what was given up front of me. Not saying those people were wrong that I worked with in Philadelphia. They just wasn't where I wanted to go with my
Yeah.
career.
And there's
And
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, so I did work with you know, a young lady in Philadelphia, Devin Milan. I also work with Marquette. If you look at Marquette's show, maybe in 2017 or 16,
Mhm. Mhm.
I cast all the models for his show. I made sure like he had runway models on a
Models.
runway. He also had a model that was in the show um, that's actually signed with IMG models now. You know,
Mhm.
so he
Mhm.
had like a
Mhm.
good list of good models that was in his show, and that was a really good experience for me. I actually love working with him. He's a really good
Yeah.
person to work with in Philadelphia. And from then on, I worked with another person. After that, Devin Milan. And
Mhm.
at
Mhm.
that time, when I worked with Devin Milan, I started my lip line. You
Uh-huh.
know,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and those things didn't work out with my lip line because how perfect I need things to be. you know, it kind of didn't work out. Even though, don't get me wrong, it will be back once I get the money that I want to put towards my lip line. But just that,
Yeah.
how I am, I know how I wanted things to be. Um, I wound up being close with her. As things started, so we became like a good friendship, and I started to do her stuff in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Like She does like a lot of creative things here. So I started to work with her, help her book models, get things together. And,
Yeah.
we did 2 seasons together that I helped her with a couple of shows, and we just fell apart in the Philadelphia scene. Like I just felt
Yeah.
like I wanted more, In that scene,
Yeah.
I had met an old friend of mine that I worked
Mhm.
with and he asked me to start a modeling agency. And this is how the
Mhm.
modeling agency come, because though I didn't go through those experiences, I may have maybe didn't think about starting a modeling agency or even thinking
Yeah.
about, doing a modeling agency. But I met
Yeah.
this guy that I worked with when I was younger in my teens. We fell off. He came up to me. He did his, he was working in the fashion industry as well as a photographer. And
Mhm. Mhm.
he was like, do you ever thought about starting an agency? Like you're really good. Like you really know what you're
Mhm.
doing.
Mhm.
You really have an eye for this. And I was like, boy, get out of my face. You know how like you're like really like you're like I'm not trying to be no modeling agency. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to even get into that. Leave me alone. And he
Yeah.
just kept bugging me about it. And you know, as I being in that atmosphere and seeing models, there were potential models that can go really, 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 really far in the fashion
Yeah.
industry. And, you know, I'm not going to say I questioned it. I was like, maybe I got this. Maybe I can do this. I
Mhm.
just wasn't
Mhm.
confident in myself of where I wanted to go. So at the time, again, I came from being a model. Things didn't
Yeah.
work out. I was signed with a modeling agency in New York. That didn't work out. They dropped me.
Mhm.
Just it just wasn't working. So you don't know at this time of my life. I just did not know where
What
I wanted to go at with my career. And also, I was also gaining weight, so I was getting fat. So I'm definitely getting fat. So as that happened and being in that atmosphere, going to her practices, I've seen that guy a lot. He was like, you gave it a thought, you gave it a thought.
Uh-huh.
And that year, I was like, you know what? Let's give it a try. Why not? You know what I mean? But I didn't give him a yes yet. I didn't give him a yes yet at all. I definitely just was like, let me see.
Okay.
So it was near Fashion Week already. So that February, it was coming up. And I was like, you know what? Let me pick out a good 10 models that I thought was good in Philadelphia that
Mhm.
I can market it in New York. You get what I mean?
Mhm.
Let me see if
Mhm.
I can get my hands wet and see where that would go. So remember, I
Yeah.
still had connections in New York. So
Yeah.
all my connections in New York, I just start pulling them back and was like, okay, so I'm gonna work with this girl Ebony. I'm gonna work with this girl Leah. I'm gonna work with this boy Zappa. I want to work this boy Miles, and it was another
Mhm.
kid. I'm trying to remember his name. Jaden, and
Mhm.
then another boy named Musa. I'm just trying to remember all the names because this time I just was picking random people at that event that I thought that would can do well.
Yeah.
Though I do knew Ebony, I did know Leah, I did know Zappa, and all those already by being in the modeling industry. In
Yeah.
Philadelphia, I knew that circle already. I was like, all right, let me represent y'all just for Fashion Week. Let me see how many jobs I
Uh-huh.
can get y'all, right? So I wound up letting Ebony, Leah, and I think it was another girl. I just can't remember her name. Oh, I even sent it to Ray Leah at this time, and I was sending them
Mhm.
casting just to see would they get it. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay. So hey Leah, can you go to the Laquan Smith show? And this actually legit happened. That I was like, I sent your pictures over to Laquan Smith. Can you see, make it to New York and go? She's like, yeah, Errol. And at this time, Leah had representation, but they just wasn't pushing her where she was going at now. So I was just like,
Yeah.
all right, sure, let's see. Then Ebony went, and then they all went. We didn't get a call back. So I was like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm in a move. I'm liking what I'm feeling, right? Zappa, and Miles and them, they had castings for some high fashion bands like V Files,
Mhm.
I think Alexander Wayne. I'm trying to remember all the designers at that time. It was a handful of them. Open Ceremony did a casting that year. So I was just sending them
Mhm.
castings, just like everything that I got in, I was sending them to them.
Okay.
That year, I was just like, let's see what happens, what doesn't. Let's see, can I do this? And then another casting came in. It was for the Adidas show with Kendall Jenner. And
Mm-hmm.
and I sent it to Ebony and I sent it to Lee. I said, guys, I need y'all to hurry up and get to New York. I need y'all to go to this casting. Sent them the
Mm-hmm.
casting. They wound up getting callbacks, both of them. Leah got her
Yeah.
call back, and then Ebony got her call back, and then, you know, they wound up not picking Ebony and kept Leah. So I was
Mm.
like, okay, all right, I'm
Okay.
feeling this, I'm getting this. And then the boys were booking gigs as well. Then my friend Sarah hit me. I was like, my friend Sarah that's South. She was like, hey, Errol, do you got any models? I see that you know, putting them, see things going on over here. What's going on? This and this. I'm like, yeah, I got some boy models. Who do you what kind of boys are you looking for? So she's like, looking for tall, dark. I was like, right there, Jaden. It was like it for Sean John, and
Yeah.
it was for Sean John, and she was like, send him over. So I was like, Jaden, Miles, just go over to New York, go to this casting, this and the third. You know what I mean? So they wound up not keeping Jaden, but they kept Miles.
Mm.
So that was like, all right, here we go. We in the motion. And I think that's when I was like, I can do this. You know what I mean? I can really do this. And with that little bit of work of those models that's booking that season, I went back and I was like, hey, to that friend, I was like, you know what? Let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's start this agency. Let's see what's going on. And at that time, I still wasn't confident. I said, let's do it. But I didn't sign no papers yet because I wasn't ready. I just was like, let
Yeah.
me see, can I get an internship in New York? Let me see, can I start working, get a job? So I started interning for different companies in New York. I wound up maybe a year and so in. I wound up going to another company. After my one internship was over to another company, and that one company was BMG Models. When I was there, I actually started to love my team and the people that I was working with, and I was working with Kevin. Kevin was the head men's booker over at BMG Models, and he gave me my first opportunity over there to be an intern, as in I was more hands-on this time. Like I was able to do more than being the intern that was getting coffee and just doing regular stuff
Yeah.
for other modeling agencies that I did work for. So I was just like, okay, I'm doing more in there. I'm liking this. Kevin liking me. And he always said to me, he was like, I think you're too advanced to be an intern. And I was like, no, I still want to learn. I don't want a job yet. I don't want to work yet. I'm just still trying to learn the motion of everything and understanding. You know what I mean? So I was working there I was an intern for 6 months there. Mind you guys, I'm from Philadelphia. I woke up at 4:00 in the morning, got on the bus at 4:00. Got on the bus by 6, had to be to work by 9. The bus dropped me off on the mega bus 2 blocks away from where my job was at. I did it every day, and I was working a night job in Philadelphia at the
No excuses.
Harris Christian. It was a no excuse. I didn't miss a day. I remember they sent me home because I was sick, and I was mad that they sent me home. And and as I was doing so well there, I wound up becoming an assistant agent. Then after assistant agent, I wound up taking on development and development for the men's board. I mean, for the men's and women's board over there, and then worked there for a little bit. Start showing everything. They offered me a job. I was making pennies, guys, and still doing this job. Like literally, they got me. I wasn't making nothing. I'm talking about my pockets was like nothing, nothing at all. But what I was learning, I was loving it. Like I wanted to stay there. I was like, I wasn't even thinking about the agency at that time that I was about to start with this guy. I was just like, oh my God, I really love working this atmosphere. I really love the whole thing about working in an age. This was about to be my life, and it was something that I really, really enjoyed walking into the office and seeing them out, helping them out, working there, but and making sure the new face and development board was looking really good, and worked there for a little bit and got pulled in the office, and I thought I was getting in trouble at this time, and and they was loving what I was doing at that time. Then as time started going to pass, I wound up getting pulled in the office, and it was like, hey, we love you, but we can't no longer afford, You
to
hear.
have that.
Yes. So that happened. And I holding my tears real good. Like I was crying, and they was like, "You can leave now. We'll give you 2 weeks of pay." And I was like, "All right." I didn't show how upset I was, or I didn't show. I actually stayed there the whole day.
Mm.
I was still nice to everybody. I was good. I still can go back there and give everybody a hug. I still talk to my old boss, Kevin. I love him to death.
Yeah.
He taught me so much about the industry. He taught me more than I ever expected, that he
Mm.
made me the inmate and agent today that I am now, because
Mm.
he taught me so much that I grabbed and understood. And
Mm.
even though it was times I was like, why are you making me do this? Why are you making this? I literally learned so much that I was more confident. You get what
Mm.
I mean? I was more
Mm. Mm.
confident. And he was like, if you need any help, you need me to write your letter, this and that, I'm there for you. Mind you, she did that. And I was ready to go to the next agency to work at.
Mm.
I was ready. I was like, I'm about to go to next. I'm about to go to, elite. I'm ready to show my talent. You know what I mean? And, you know, as that went, I wound up going back to Philadelphia, holding in
Mm.
my pride. I didn't even tell nobody. Like, I was hurt in the beginning. I got on that bus and cried, didn't let nobody know. And
Yeah.
um, it sometimes gets to me now, but but um, I wound up, coming back, and I called him up. I was like, "Do you really want to do this? Like,
Mm.
is this something you want to do?" And you know, it was doing good.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, we signed all the models, we got everyone together,
Yeah.
everything was moving. And, I remember to this day is that when he first showed me the name, and I'm not going to say this name because legal action, guys, but when he told me the name, I hated it. Like, I was like, nah, that name is a mess. And, as me being so creative, I was like, let's flip things around. Let's make sure things look this way before we can even go far. Like I said, to you last time we talked, is that
Yeah.
he said the colors was orange and black.
It ain't Halloween. We ain't have. It's not Halloween.
And I'm like, no, 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 we can't do orange and black. That's just not going to work.
Yeah.
And you know, with that, showing my creativity is coming from an art school and knowing how things supposed to look and how working in a modeling agency, and actually going to modeling agencies, being
Yeah.
represented by models, a modeling agency, you have a whole different mindset of how things supposed to look, how
Absolutely.
your agency is supposed to look. It's a lot to it. And
Yep.
I was like, let's flip things around. Let's make everything lowercase. Let's do this. Let's flip this. Let's do that. And finally, we went with the colors black and white. And make a long story short, we wind up, working together, getting a business together, and we worked together for a couple years. I mean, couple, maybe a year and a half. I think we went into business together.
Mhm.
Um, and me being who I am a go getter. You're not going to tell me no. You're not going to, we're not going to have um we're not going to fall. We're gonna get up
Yeah.
and keep going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And people don't, some people don't know how to take that go getter side of you.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of issues within the agency that I was working with, and building this company with, invested so much money into this company, that I was
Yeah.
hiding a lot of things for models. You know what I mean? I was hiding things from my models. I wasn't telling them that me and my business partner wasn't working together right. He was lying
Yeah.
about things. He wasn't doing things that I thought that would be appropriate for the company. And, it
Yeah.
was a lot of things that I was just hiding and slipping underneath the carpet, just because I wanted to create this beautiful agency and create something big. And, you know, what really made me realize that it was time for us to go, and I'm going to try to push this story into how Warrior Model Sex. So I don't want to say too much about that other company. So
Uh-huh.
long story short, one of us was getting more attention to the other, and it was kind of like everyone was knowing my name, because already I worked in the industry already. Of course, they're gonna know my
Yeah.
name, But
Yeah.
I wasn't even showing up to none of the shows. He was, and he was still not getting the attention that he wanted. I was getting more like,
Mm-hmm.
look, people were knowing my name. I'm gonna get a model signed in Milan, and just things were just
Mm-hmm.
working. But it was because I was so much going and so much trying to push this company, trying to make this company
Yeah.
strong. I wanted to build the best. Long story short, I got an email from him saying that he no longer want to work with me. He thinks that I put the company too much around myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't giving everyone, that being said, mind you, I gave that company my whole 401k.
Yeah. You
He didn't
invested
have
in your company.
money. You get what I mean? So at that time, I think that I got to the point that I was like, I just want my models. Because I think I already had enough already from other
Yeah.
things that happened within the company. I just was like, you know, I had enough that I just can't do this no more. So you're making
Yeah.
it easier for me. It was hurtful because I lost so much stuff within that company, but I
Yeah.
wound up asking, just give me my money, my models back. I didn't even care about the
Yeah.
money. Give me my
Yeah.
models. That's all I want. Get all my models out their contract and let's go. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And all my models that I wanted, I lost a good three. But the good three that I did lost, they are signed with really bigger agencies. I do see
That's
their
great.
success. They didn't leave me and just went down. Yes, I was hurt, but they were go getters as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I maybe lost money over these models. I may have lost um, good models and potential, but they're in a better space now, and I'm really
Yeah.
happy where they at now from where we
Yeah.
started and where they was going. And even though I booked them gigs, their first gigs for Fashion Week and this and the third, they didn't want to wait. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get
Yeah.
it. I asked all my
Yeah.
models to say you can leave or you can stay and wait until things smoothed out and we can
Yeah.
go. And a nice handful of my models, if you look, I can name a couple: Malachi, Indigo, Ebony, um, oh my gosh, I got so many models, can't think their name. Kayer, Taylor, um, Christopher, Jaden, both of the Jadens, they all
Mm-hmm.
stayed. They all of them was like, no, we're gonna rock out with you. We're gonna do this together.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate those models that did stay and did, move on to the next company when that's when we want to bring in to talk about Warrior
Yeah.
Model Management.
Yeah.
Warrior Model Management, mind you guys, I'm starting all over with a whole new company. I don't know what to do. And Warrior came about is because I wrote down over 100 names. Me and my friend, Marvin Thomas, he sat down with me and he was like, hey, let's write down all the names that you can think of: cat,
Mm-hmm.
dog, fish, cows, refrigerator, traffic, light,
Mm-hmm.
blue, green, black, like literally a whole bunch of nonsense. And
Random.
yes, random
Mm-hmm.
stoplight, stop. It was so many names that we just kept saying, and we just couldn't think of nothing. We had one. It was Neo. Neo Model Management was one of them. That was the first one. I was like, yes, I like it. Cause you ever seen the movie Neon Demons? It's a fashion movie.
No.
You have to see it. It's really good. It's crazy,
All
but
right.
it's good. It's a fashion movie. So I literally took it from there. I was like, Neon Demons, okay. And I would post stuff like clues about the movie. I would post like the
Uh-huh.
movies up there and like little screens from the movie, and I was like, this is the name. I want demons as models. I want this. Why I Google and I copy written the name in Philadelphia. I got the LC for Philadelphia. I actually kind of own that name as well. Just like I still own the name to the other company that I have as well. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But I wound up Googling it, and I found out knowing that as a company overseas that have neo models.
Mm.
I even tried to flip the name, change the way you spell it.
No.
Didn't work. I
Mhm.
still don't know how Warrior came to my mind. And when I was speaking to you recently, I was telling you that I was watching the movie Wonder Woman.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep.
And I remember seeing the girls going against each other and on horses, and I was like, oh my God, warrior. I don't know where that name came from, but warrior models was it. I don't know. I just thought about how all the stuff I've been through with the agency that I helped started, and
Yeah.
I kept going, lost models, I kept going, legal action, other things happened within that,
Yeah.
you know, um, I just needed to figure out a good name. And Warrior, people was like, why are you naming your company Warrior? If only you knew the real story, you would be like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I get it.
Yeah.
Warrior model. But I still wasn't happy because every graphic designer that I was working with could not get it right. It was so
Mhm.
terrible. I'm talking about it was to the point that I was just like, I can't, this is ugly. I can't, I'm about to call this no name. No name. They were not getting it. They were not, oh my God, at
It
all.
happens that way, but when you after you know when it's right. You know when it's like, okay, that's it.
Hmm.
So, eventually they got. Did you figure it out, or did you get somebody that figured it out for you?
So what happened was I was talking to one of my models, Malachi. He's the face of Polo, guys. If you ever see the billboards on my Instagram,
Go
he's the
ahead,
face.
Malachi.
I'm on the phone with him, and I'm like, I just don't know. I can't find no one. I even sent him the logo, and I was like, you can't tell nobody because I was going to do a contest if you can guess the name of the company, and this and the third.
Mhm.
And he was like, okay. He's like, you need to try this company called Fiverr.
Yep.
Fiverr. And Fiverr has like all these different people on there around the world that does graphics, that does photographs, they do editing, they do lawyer work, they do all kinds of
Hmm.
stuff, and you can meet with them. It took this young kid from India $20, guys, to do my logo today.
Yes.
Do my logo, it was $20. He
Maybe
did my
I need
logo.
to. I've used Fiverr before,
Yeah.
and somebody did some great work for me, but I
Mhm.
stopped using them. I don't know why I stopped using them. I think maybe because I got it done and I was like, okay, I'm done. But
Mhm.
I'm constantly thinking about a logo, thinking about what I want when Mouse talk, like the look, the big,
Mhm.
and I don't know why I ain't think Fiverr.
You can always change your logo. It's the name that you can't change because everybody already know the name. You know what I mean? So a logo is really
Yeah.
easy to even do. I think. But yeah, he literally. I didn't even have to describe anything to him.
Mhm.
Like if you ever look into the logo for Warrior Models, do I have a comp card somewhere around here? Let me see something.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought I had a comp card near me. But if you look at Warrior Models
Mhm.
logo, the M is an upside down M and it's a W. So
Yeah.
Warrior Models, when you look at it, so it goes like this, and then it's like a crack in between the name, and then it's the rest of the W for Warrior, but it's a M and a
Mhm.
W that make the name. And I fell in love with it. I was in love with it. I was like, oh my God, I love this logo. It fits, people may not understand why did I choose Warrior, but that was the reason why I chose Warrior because it was the history behind me and what I went through. And I would
Yeah.
love to tell you guys more what happened, but we can't do that.
Yeah.
you
But you
know?
know what? It shows it's a perfect name because of your journey thus
Yeah.
far. From even starting out being a model and getting scouted at age 10
Yeah.
till now. Like that's a
Yeah.
whole process, and then constantly being told no, no, no. Then when something kind of break through, it's like okay, we get a step back because it's no again. So it's like the journey alone expresses how much of a warrior you are
Yeah.
within just life in general. So
Yeah.
I'm here for the name.
Thank you. You
And
know,
you show, and your work shows because you have some
thank
amazing models on
you.
your board.
Thank
You
you. Thank
definitely
you.
know how to handle how to not only handle yourself but also how to teach your models and going into the industry. So let's get into that now. With So how long have you had Warrior Model Management?
Going on 3 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. Going on
And
3 years.
then so I got my questions, but you answered some of them already.
Oh, I did? I'm sorry.
Yes, no, that's good. Because I got to chop that off the board.
Okay.
So, but with your experience within the industry, like working with, you know, I think you said BMG, doing things with New York Fashion Week, doing just different things in general, Philly, working in Philly. How has that helped you in running your own business as far as having an agency? What are some
Well,
things that you've learned?
so working with those companies that I learned that whew, at the end of the day, you need to understand the industry before making yourself um, a platform for people. You get what I mean? As in making yourself, you know, available for being in the industry or doing jobs. I think that don't just do the job, understand the job first. You get what I mean? If you don't understand the job and you're just doing it, you're just all over the place thinking that this is what's supposed to, you know, this is what's supposed to look like. This was supposed to be done correctly. Not saying I'm not perfect, because there were times like in the beginning of working with Warrior is that my models' pictures wasn't looking the way they should look. It took time for the photographers that I wanted to work with,
Yeah.
especially the photographer that I was working with at that time. He wasn't even a fashion photographer. He was a boxing photographer, but he was free. But I had the eye of fashion. I have the eye. I can bring it to life. I had to understand it. So we had to come to agreement to understand what I wanted and what he can accomplish from it.
Yeah.
So it's all about understanding the craft of fashion. I don't think it just, you go into fashion, you snap your fingers and you about to be the fashionista. To me, I just don't think that's how life works. I think that you really have to understand what is fashion, working in fashion, working behind the scenes, working on scenes, being a model, understanding the industry, and, really trying to grasp where you want to go in the fashion industry. Remember, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I couldn't make it as a model. It didn't work out. It just didn't work out. So what do I do now? You get what I mean? So I needed to understand that part of the world of being an agent than just going into something to say, snap, I'm a model agent. Snap, this is what I do. Snap, this is how it is. That's just not how it works. And that's how we get these MAs and these agencies and places that you be like, what are you doing? That's not how it's supposed to work. You know what I mean? That's not, you get confused and you get these young, talented models and they think this is how things supposed to look, but that's not really how things supposed to go, because you know how you can go to some modeling agencies and they're like, you need a portfolio. That's not exactly true. You can get signed and get represented with just digital.
Polaroid.
And your agency was, yes. And you take some good Polaroid. And you can ask any of my models, I love a good Polaroid. I love a good Polaroid. I literally would take a Polaroid before I take a professional picture. Because it's the real you. It's the real you. We see every detail in your face. We see everything. And, I'll take I literally needed to understand that as well, that these models don't need a portfolio to walk in front of me or to even meet me. They just need some good digitals. Yes, we would love to see a book, but at the end of the day, let's see your real face, your real skin, your real everything, how you look on natural lighting,
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would say is like, understand the industry than just walking into something. That's like any job you do. Don't you got to go through training?
Yep, absolutely.
They don't just put you in a cash register. I'm saying that, you learn the industry, learn the craft that you want to do. Don't just snap your fingers and say, hey, it doesn't work like singers, guys. You can't put auto-tune on everything.
And you know what? It's so true, because I wanted to start, we talked about it, and I wanted to start my own consulting modeling agency.
Okay.
But I learned that I don't really want to know the ins and outs of every little thing at the time.
Why?
Only because, like, I know some people, they're like, okay, I know every single Victoria's Secret model. I know this about this. I know these names and everything else. I know
I
nothing.
don't even know all the Victoria's Secret models. It's too many of them, girl. Okay, I know Giselle. I know Tara. I know Naomi. I know Chanel Iman walks for them. I know see, I already went blank. I already went blank. I know them when I see them.
Yeah,
And that's not even good, but who knows all that? Joan Small walked for them. Dougie. I mean, what's that girl? Dougie.
Karuchi. I can't remember. But all I know is
There's too many of them. It's like
that,
a billion of girls.
and on top of that, I really didn't want to really have control over someone else's career, especially if I didn't have the information that I needed to have in order to because I had to learn. Like, sometimes I can stick my foot in my mouth.
We all do.
And do
Trust
the
me,
most.
I do too.
And like, I can do this myself. Y'all know what y'all doing. But in all actuality, they do know what they're doing. They might not be doing it exactly, maybe the correct way 100%, but they know a little bit. They know more than me. Put it that way. Yeah. So I would have to, not to say that it will never happen, but because it's definitely on hold. I still got the name, so it depends on what I want to do. But it's just more of, I like to help people in the sense of, okay, I can send you, just like with consulting, I can send you to who knows what. So a great agency, a great if there's a casting that I know of, okay, go to that casting, go get your coin. You know, just different things. But am I ready to take on someone's whole career? Absolutely not. I'm still trying to figure out my own. So
I think that, you know, yes, you do need to know what casting directors, where you can find them, what's their emails. You know, I think that's really important. What's the top photographers? You know, who's all the models are working with? Who's the hot girls? Who's the hot guys? There are things that I would want to know because I do own a modeling agency, but I'm not really worrying about who's working every runway because none of us really know that. Like, you know, but I do want to know who's the top guys and who's the top girls and who's the hot girls, who's the not hot girls, who's booking everything. You know what I mean? You know, who's the highest paid, who's not the highest paid. You know, who's the top modeling agency? How can I get up there with them? What do I have to do and things like that? There's some things that I think we all would want to know and understand, and how can we get our company to the next level. But I ain't gonna be knowing nobody. I don't need to know. That's too many of y'all. It's way too many.
It's a lot. It's a lot of information.
I don't even remember my own models' names half the time. I'm like, wait, Kair, come here. I had to think. You know, you gotta think a little bit. You know what I mean? Jada, come here. You know, I love all my models and they all get treated the same way, but I forget. You know, you got so much, and I'm the only one that's in my company. I'm the only one there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Besides, you know, the people that work on my accounting and making sure I'm doing everything right with bills and stuff. Yeah. I know, of course. But it's really me, and I got to remember everything. Yes, I do know them when I see them, but you tell me name them all right now, I'll probably start naming the same ones over.
And then the other one, like, wait a minute, you forgot my name.
Exactly. So, you know, like, I actually was talking to my model, Rodney, today. Mind you, I didn't mention his name the whole time. I mentioned everybody else. I just was talking to him. I just was talking to Indigo not too long ago. Just was talking to Jaden. And, like, my mind just be so everywhere. I talk to Taylor maybe every day. I talk to my model, Alamo, like, maybe every day as well. I just forget them at the moment. But I know my models when I see they might be doing that they should be doing. I know you then. Yeah. Your whole name, your address. It all clicked. It's in one of them file cabinets in my brain. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But, you know, it just, when you said that, it just made me think, like, that's true. Because I think some people get, like me, I would love to work me, I like to learn certain things beforehand. Like just how
Mhm.
like how you did internships and you worked at different agencies and this and that. That's stuff that I would rather do. Learn more of that, so
Mhm.
that when I step out, I know a lot more, and I can
Yeah.
actually do a lot more for the people that I represent, or that
Mhm.
that are my clients or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
So, and that's something I have not done yet.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I'm young. I got time. I got time. So let's get into how do you get into the industry the correct way? How do someone start get into modeling, and
Uh,
what's the right way to do it? Because some people, I get this all the time.
how to get how to get in the industry. you know, let's say this. It's hard, yes, but not everyone can get into the industry. Let's say that. Let's get that on the table first. Not everyone can get into the industry. Not everyone maybe not have that opportunity, or maybe those people just haven't met the right people to help them out, right? So for models, let's go for models. If I'm a model and if I had the knowledge that I have now, I may not have what it did the things that I did in the past to be a model. You know, let's go back to, you know, digital. Digital is your key of even getting an email back from us. It's great digital. Sometimes we don't even look at your portfolio. Just give me a good digital. Give me a good intro video. If you don't know what they are, go on YouTube and look up what is a digital. You can take those with your cell phones. You know, an iPhone. I know everyone has an iPhone now these days, or some type of cell phone. They got a camera on there, a good camera. You got good lighting. Find a white wall. Find a nice brick wall with no cursive or no crazy stuff on the wall. And, you know, hey, my name is Errol. I'm 20 something years old. I am 5'10", da 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 da. And after you say those things, then you do a profile shot, then you do another profile shot, then you look straight, and then you might do a walk. Real simple and easy. Or you can do it the opposite way, which I make my models walk first. When they get to the end of the runway or the end of the walk, they'll say, "Hey, my name is so and so. I'm this tall." Da 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 da. You get what I mean? I actually post a lot of those intro videos on my Instagram, so you can go and check that out now to see, you know, Scouted by Errol is one actually up now. I actually have a boy that just got it from LA, and I posted all three of his intro videos. And one is in English, one is in German, and one is in French. And he knows all those languages. Those things attract modeling agencies. Them things attract us because, oh my God, he's 6'4", he's 16 years old, he knows different languages. He's not your typical guy. He stands out. He has pale skin. He has dreads. It's something different about this boy. He knows languages. Oh, we can market him to the French market, the German market, the English
Yeah.
market, and he knows how to sell to everyone. You get what I mean? So let's take some good digitals.
Yeah.
Then know your market. Don't just think that you want to be a high fashion model tomorrow or a commercial model. Find what's good for you. What goes with your look. Look up Wilhelmina. Look up IMG. Look up Next Elite. Look up Warrior Models. Look up. You know, I'm gonna put my name in there.
You better.
Look
You
at these
better.
agencies. Okay, you know, look them up and see their board. See their women's board. See their men's board. See the whole board and see, do you fit for that company?
Yeah.
You just might fall right in. You know, you might be okay. They got girls that's 5'7". They got girls that's 5'10". You know, their requirements. Ooh, do I look like that girl, or do I stand out, or do I have cheekbones like that person? You know, you never know when it comes to these agencies. We don't know what we're looking for half the time. We have an
Yeah.
idea of what we're looking for, but you never know. So, first thing I would say is take good digital, find your market, look up different agencies, see they board, see do you fit in, see do they got a commercial board, see do they got a curve board, see do they have those different, you know, things that maybe you can fit in for different types of models. You know what I mean? Now they got influencers as on their boards now, you know, so you can be like, oh, I could be an influencer. I got 20K, I got 80K, I got 100. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
might can work my way in there. You know what I mean? So you never know where an email can take you. Now, how to get these emails? You might got to do a little more work.
Yeah.
because because you can send out 100 emails and you may not get a response back. But how you get deep in there? You know what
Mm.
I mean? How you get their emails? How about you look up the agents for that
Yep.
company?
Yep.
Check their bio and see if their emails in there.
Yep.
You know,
LinkedIn.
work exactly.
LinkedIn.
Look, yes, LinkedIn. Yes, that's a good one. Um, Also, models.com is a good, platform for you guys to find out what agencies is on open calls, or all the legit agencies is on that website.
Mm.
No, I'm gonna say 70% of them is all on there. All from the top
Mm.
to the bottom, all of them. They'll tell you the top modeling agencies to tell you all that is on that, from every country, every city, everywhere is
Mm.
there. Warrior model's not there yet, but we be there yet because you got to establish certain things on there to get on there. But we be there.
Look. You
So,
already doing your thing. You don't need to be on there because you already doing your thing.
but I'm gonna let you guys. It's out there. There's a lot of platforms. There's a lot of research. Just do your research. Just
Yeah.
don't be sending your stuff to Bobby and Johnny and Elizabeth and all of it. Like, no, you want to send your stuff to the right people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then you get an email back and they're telling you to meet you in dark places. No.
I know. You
You
gotta be
know?
really, really careful because I hear
Yes.
from so many people that one of my homegirls, Bella, she's a model and
Hmm.
she's a freelance model and she's been doing her thing for a while. And I actually had her on the show.
Yeah.
And she was talking about and she had like this model like text group
Hmm.
and one of them was on there. One of the guys was on there, and he was saying how he just got signed to an agency. And I just, you know me, I'm nosy, so I just happened to look it up because I wanted to see where he got signed to. You know, I
Hmm.
looked on their Instagram, looked on their stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm not hating at all because you
Yeah.
never know. But
Yeah.
I think you got to just be very mindful and pay attention to the fact of what agencies you're looking at. See what they have already done. If they're actually getting their people into good spots, like come on, like you get your people in good spots.
Thank
I'm just
you.
saying. I was like, you know
Thank
what?
you.
Let me think about warrior management, model management. Look, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do pertaining to modeling. Right now, I'm on this
Girl, knock on the
COVID.
door. Just come over, knock on head. What?
I'm like, let me in. If I can't get from the front, I'm going through the back. I'm gonna cut through the
Okay.
window.
Okay. But they're pretty high.
I'm gonna bring the ladder. I'm gonna bring a
Okay, I
ladder.
got you.
Look,
But
I
we're
can
in
get up.
Philly. My office is in Philly. It's at 2930 Jasper Street, Suite 207. It's in a loft. You guys, it's still underneath construction, guys. I'm trying to get it the way I want it to look. I just recently got it all painted. So, it's getting there, but I'm so picky, guys. I'm
Ain't
so
nothing wrong with
picky. I want it to look like the top modeling agency. So I'm just like, every dollar I get, recently I just picked up another job.
it. Look,
So
hey.
I'm working in a night gig now to finish, doing my company the way I want it to look.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so expensive. I be wanting couches for $5,000, $8,000.
Ain't
I
I
be
got time
like,
for that.
I
Mm-mm.
want my desk to be. I be trying it. I really be trying it, but I just want it to be home for my models. Your
Yeah.
modeling agency is your home. That's your place that you talk to your agent. That's where you come in, and when you're having a stressful day, you didn't do good
Yeah.
for fashion. When you come in and talk to your agent, I want my models to be comfortable to walk in and love and post. Models
Yeah.
love posting. I want them
Yeah.
to post. Things. When they're in there, I want to make sure that coffee always made for whoever comes in to meet. Water's always there. Snacks
Yeah.
and all that there. just sitting in the waiting area in my office, I want you to feel like, oh gosh, I
Yeah.
really want to be with this modeling agency. You know, it seems like he's a really go getter. He really believes in me.
Yeah.
Not even just that, I feel homey here. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like this can be my agency that can take me to the next level. So it's
Yeah.
all about appearance, and you know, you want to make sure that you give someone a place that you can feel home at. Like I want you when I
Yeah.
walk in and I say, "Hey, welcome to Warrior Models." When an intern should say, "I want my interns to love working with
Yeah.
me." I want my workers, you know, my men's board, my women's board. I want them to love working at Warrior Model Management. I don't just want them to come to work and say, "Well, I'm here today. Where's my coffee at?" I want them to be like, "Hey, how was your weekend? Let's talk. You know, let's do
Yeah.
our morning week. You know, our morning meetings, and you know what we're doing for Fashion Week. Who's doing good? Who's not doing good? Let's work on their book. What needs to be done." I
Yeah.
want to be hands on. Even I'm the owner, and I may not always be in there, and I have workers there.
Mm.
I'm there every day.
I know that's right.
I want to be there every day. I want
Yeah.
to know how much money is going out. I want to understand why we just signed this new girl. I want to know why we signed this new boy, how much money we think we're going to make off of them. Not even, it's not always about money. Let's not say that, but to keep the you know, the lights on, you need models to make money at the
Yeah.
end of the day, right or wrong.
Yeah.
So I just want to understand what made my agent pick that person, what made my scout
Mhm.
pick that person. Why are we representing this person? Why? Why do we believe in this model so much? I think we should drop that person now. It's just not working. You know, there's a lot of things that I will want to be hands on with. I don't just want my models to come in and they just don't seem like they're getting any support from anyone. If you catch any
Yeah.
of my models, I cannot talk to you for a week, and I'll get back to our last conversation and say, this is what we said this day, this is the third, this is like I would keep it going. You know what I mean? There's some
Mhm.
models that I have to, you know, put up front and then
Yeah.
keep them moving faster. And then there's some models gotta put back and get back to them and then go. You know, you always have to make sure you know where you're going. You know, it's not fair
Yeah.
that some models are moving faster than the others, but this is the industry. You cannot,
Yeah.
you know, promise anyone a successful career overnight. That's just not how life works.
Yeah.
You know, it could happen for you know, for some, but it can't happen for everyone. So we
Yeah.
have to work harder. We have to do things. We have to, you know, redo pictures, redo dishes, maybe change your hair, maybe change your, you know, change something about yourself. You know,
Yeah.
you don't want to change it. You might look better with a low cut, and your cheekbones is like bam. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or let's grow your hair out and straighten it, give you a bang, and that bang might be that, you know, it might be that look for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's certain things that I feel like we need to. I want to be there to understand why we made these decisions for this particular model because I do care about my
Yeah.
models. I was a model, and I want to understand that I know your pain. I know what you're going through.
Yeah.
I cried before. I got let down before. I had opportunities that was right in front of my face and just didn't work. And I want them to know
Yeah.
I'm here. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to let no agent or nobody hurt you or make you feel like you're not worth being here. You're worth
Yeah.
being here. But don't also, I want models to understand is that don't discredit your agent. Don't discredit
Mhm.
your scout. Don't hurt
Mhm.
them. Don't make them feel like they're not doing enough for you because if y'all see these emails we get,
Mhm. Look, so trust me, I understand because when I was
I'm a
with my
I'm gonna drink my water to that.
when I was with my first agency, I really didn't know too much, but I didn't know anything at all when it
Yeah.
pertained to the modeling industry. And I would hear, you know, and there were girls that were way younger than me. And I'm like, well, why do they want me here? They got these girls, she like 12, 13, 16. I'm like, well above 20, well
Hmm.
above 20. And
Yeah.
I'm starting late, but it just worked out that it was just working out. But because you know you think you got to start so early, but I had to tell somebody recently. I was like, it don't matter what age you start. There's things for every age
I
range.
have a model on my board that you won't even believe her age.
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm just saying.
She black.
She's the Puerto Rican.
Uh, I'm
She's
about to say,
lit.
because you know black don't crack. That's all I was gonna say. That's all. But
No, she's still black. She's Afro-Latina. Like, yeah, she's still black. Like at the end of the day, but I gave her a whole makeover. When I met her, she was one look, and then when we signed her, I gave her another look. I cut her hair, changed everything about her, and she looked incredible.
wow,
Just know I
that's what's
just
up.
post her.
So, so what do you actually look for when it comes to modeling? Because I'm sure you get a lot of people reaching out to you saying, "Okay, can I be a model? Can you sign me?" Because they're seeing the work that you're doing with other people. So, what do you
Hmm.
actually look for when it comes to getting signed to your agency?
Whew. You know what? When I look for a model, it's something. When I close my eyes and I see you and I can visualize you working, maybe walking for Tom Ford, and I can see you walking for Prada, I can see you walking for Dolce& and Gabbana, Dior. I want to visualize you on them runways that I watch every week and every day. I
Mm-hmm.
just go on YouTube and look at them. I want to put your face on that girl instead of the girl that's on the runway. I want to be able to see you walk that runway and visualize you on that runway. I want to believe that you can be signed with a bigger agency since I'm your inmate. I'm starting you off and getting things going. I want to make sure,
Mm-hmm.
a bigger agency loves your look. I want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure they be like, hey, Errol, let's partner up. Let's do this deal. Let's bring him in. Let's bring her in. Let's do these things for this model. It's not just me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at the overall picture
Yeah.
of the model and where they can go. Are they the right height? Are they the right size? Are their measurements right? It's everything goes into my mind of when I'm picking the models. That do they stand out when they're in a room? Do they all stand out? If you notice, none of my models look alike.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I noticed.
Mm-mm.
I noticed.
Not one of them look alike. Not one. There's no two of anything in my mouth. You cannot say, "Oh, he got two African American males or two Caucasian males that look just alike. None of them look alike.
Mhm.
None of them. None of them. Like, and when I'm scouting, I'm looking for a model that I'm going to be in love with their look. Like, I love
Mhm.
all my models' look. I literally love all my models' look. Like I said, again, some models may not be moving as fast as others, but I picked you for a reason. I'm
Yeah.
investing in you for a reason. And
Yeah.
you guys got to understand this as well. When I'm picking my model, I got to make sure, are you worth the investment?
Yep. That key right there.
Being a model, you're being a vet when you're getting picked by a modeling agency. We are investing in your craft. We are investing in your passport. We're investing in your hotel fees. Putting you in a model department. We're investing in all these things that we need to make
Mhm.
sure that you're worth the investment. And it sounds harsh when you say, "Oh, you can't invest in people." Like, you know what I mean? You know what I
That
mean? Yeah, but
no.
some people may take it that way. But
Well, maybe it's because I'm in this industry and I
yeah,
know, and plus I'm an
yeah.
adult, so I understand,
Yeah.
investing. And when it comes to modeling, it is an investment because
Yeah.
your time, your
Yeah.
energy, your connections, and there's a certain attitude, there's a certain way that you have to be trained if you do not know from your agency, and that's time and investment. That's something that they got to do,
Hmm.
especially if you don't have certain things coming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I see something. Because that was me. That was
Hmm.
me. She saw something. And I'm like, okay, so what you see? Okay. But she saw something and she was like, okay, I'm going to put time and I'm going to invest in you. And we spent countless times, me coming in and having a conversation and her showing me how to walk, her showing
Hmm.
me the different things of what needs to be done. Don't get me wrong, it
Hmm.
wasn't perfect, but and that was me maybe being a little hard-headed. But after even having a conversation with you and so many other conversations I've had with people that are not only models but people who are photographers and everything pertaining to when I was taught, it changed my mind. Like maybe I was a little doing too much. It wasn't bad, but
Hmm.
I just didn't understand certain things that maybe I
Hmm.
should have understood or at least thought to try to understand.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's not like I would love to pick everybody to be a model one day. Maybe not everybody, but I'll give everyone a chance. But you got to understand, this is a industry. It's you're selling products, you're selling clothes, you're
Yeah.
selling shoes, you're selling handbags, you're selling makeup, you're selling everything. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, like for me to pick a model, I gotta make sure you're worth the investment. I gotta make sure you believe in my vision for you. I need to make sure that if I tell you let's do some cornrows in your hair or let's cut your hair short, that you believe in my vision for you. It's not that I want
Yeah.
you to change
Trust.
your look up, and I don't want you to ever feel like that I don't like your look. I just think we all do a little, maybe get a nice hairstyle, a little tweak, I would never tell a girl or a guy to get work done. I don't believe in it. I
Me
definitely don't
neither.
believe that.
Me
I
neither.
don't believe in getting your eye lift and your nose done. I don't believe in any of that stuff. But I would never say that to a model, and no one that will work for me, I would ever say that to. Yes, I will tell a model, hey, you might gotta lose a couple of pounds, but do it the fun way. Let's go
Yeah.
to dance class. I'll even go to dance class with you. I need to lose a couple of pounds, so why not? You know, there's certain things like I like boys, like again, like boys is real easy to be like, hey, can you work with that six pack real fast? And boys are okay, you know what I mean? But girls can be, sometimes when you
Yeah.
represent a girl may not be comfortable with you saying, hey, lose weight. So I don't actually tell a girl lose weight. I'll be like, hey, have you been working on your body? Fashion week is about to come up. They be like, hey, yeah, I've been doing some running or, doing my own little thing. And I was like, hey, we need to get your measurements to a certain amount, let's bring them down a little bit. I don't want you
Yeah.
to, but I try my best to sugarcoat girls, and it's so
Yeah.
sad because I think my girls that I do represent, even though there's only not even a handful of them, but I'm so sensitive to girls because the industry is so cruel
Yeah.
to girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying it's not cruel to guys either, but I never want a girl to, and I'm a guy as well. I don't never want a girl to feel like they can't come to me and say,
Yeah.
hey, you know, I feel like I'm losing too much weight. I feel
Yeah.
like this is not comfortable for me. And I had girls that said that, I, but it can happen to a point that make a girl don't want to be a model. You don't want to stop a
Yeah.
girl from being a model, thing like that. But I would love for them. They're going to lose weight. Have fun doing
Thank you
it.
for watching part one. Now check out part two with special guest Earl Lynn on When Models Talk.